now thinking more about possibly a more experienced teacher. It's been teaching a few years and having doubts about if this is the right career for them, or having thoughts about leaving teaching. From personal experience, I've definitely had numerous times over the years where I've just felt tired and depleted and just think I can't do this any longer. And I managed to find my way through in the end and kind of keep going. But what have you found from the research of your book and also your experience of teaching kind of helps deal with those thoughts where you're wondering whether you can keep going with teaching?
Well, I think it's important to answer this question in a balanced way, and it's very easy for me to be patronising. And I know that my most controversial articles have been the ones that I've written where I said, I love my job, it's the best job in the world, because that winds people up if people are having a rough time.
Yeah.
I do love my job, but I'm lucky. I'm in a context which is right for me, and I often think of context very much as like a relationship. I didn't realise it at the time, but I was spoilt rotten for probably the first 14 years of my career, where I landed in contexts where I was able to grow, I was trusted, I thrived. Yeah, again, hindsight, I did have moments in those jobs, and this is something you and I have discussed before. Certainly, through the course of the school year, there's that graph, isn't there, which shows the ups and downs of the school year. It is very normal to feel like leaving teaching in the middle of November, when it's dark, when you wake up, it's dark when you're driving home. It's very normal to think about teaching in February, when, again, it's dark, it's cold, and spring seems a million miles away. And it's actually, I can speak from personal experience, it's quite normal to think of leaving teaching when you're in an absolute panic over the GCSE results, despite giving advice to teachers about how not to panic. So in a sense, these thoughts are normal. However, there will be people for whom it is time to leave teaching, and that's fine, because we know that the current model of employment and work can mean that people have many different careers throughout a lifetime. So if you genuinely have had enough, if it's not working for you, if you've maybe tried a few different contexts, then God, you're not. It's not a prison. It's a school. You can by all means move on. Everyone has to do what's right for them, for their family, and for their personal context. And if you're lucky enough to be able to take a year out, then maybe take a year out, do some travelling, and then see how you feel about it. What I would say, though, is that 2 years ago, when I got this job, quite by chance, I was going through an agency, which shows how, I'd pretty much given up, I suppose. I was letting the agency see what they could find for me, but actually I was thinking, time to do something else. Time to leave teaching. It's been lovely, 19 years, thanks very much. My heart wasn't in it. Luckily, serendipity, one of my favourite things, I walked into a job I love. Annoying, I know. But prior to that, I had almost given up. And I'd almost given up because I went naively into a context which wasn't right for me. Now, it's a context which has been right for other people. I know other people who are still working there who are very, very happy. It was not right for me. The values of the organisation and my own values didn't match. And it was unfortunate and it was sad. But it nearly destroyed me. And it actually took an intervention for friends to arrange for me to meet with a mutual friend who sat me down and said, you are not going to gain anything more from this experience. You need to move on. And I did. For me, changing context felt like changing jobs altogether. So what I would say, absolutely, is if you're in a place and you're not happy and it's not right and you've done the philosophical bit about it's November and you're still feeling like that, if you've gone through, my husband always says this one, if you've gone for 4 weeks solidly of waking up in the morning and not wanting to go to work, you need to look at it. If you've still got a reason to feel excited as you come into the school gates, then actually you're probably onto a winner. But try a different context, because there are good people and good places out there, despite all the horror stories you might read.